Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hurricanes Camp 2023. Joe Zagacki alongside my broadcast partner, Don Bailey Jr., as we come to you from inside the Carroll Sofer Indoor Practice Facility. University of Miami training camp is underway. We're going to hear from Mario Cristobal momentarily. Let's take an overview of what you've seen so far in training camp.
Well, the main thing is, Joe, last year we talked about Coach Cristobal's blueprint for success. Well, we talked about it last year, and now you're seeing it really become implemented. He's got a bigger team, he's got a faster team, a stronger team, and a team that understands that they are on a mission.
Yeah, some of the things that Coach Cristobal was able to do during the offseason, really overhaul this roster and make the roster, as you said, more physical, more competitive.
Yeah, immediately off the bus, you're going to realize that this University of Miami team is a size bigger than they were a year ago. I also think you're going to find out that they're faster than they were as well.
Okay, training camp is underway. As we continue with our Hurricanes camp report, up next, head coach Mario Cristobal with Don Bailey Jr.
Don Bailey with head coach Mario Cristobal. And coach, we're winding down the first week of training camp. What have you learned about this team?
Well, I've learned that we're understanding the standard a little bit better. Certainly a lot of guys are living up to the expectation, are pushing others. Others are trying to catch up, and they got to catch up in order to be part of this organization. But what we see is a lot of progress in every aspect, in terms of culture, in terms of effort, in terms of physicality. And you know what? A moderately high level of execution, considering it's the first week of camp. So overall, really good progress, and looking forward to the next practice.
Coach, you talk about culture every single day. You almost have to restart that somewhat with the infusion of players that you have.
Without a doubt. And every year you've got to hit the restart button. And you think about it now in this day and age, in the advent of social media, distractions, all the things that go on, you almost have to restart it every single morning to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Strength and conditioning, I know we're going to talk to Coach Feld, and I see the difference. I mean, 12 months, a year ago today, you look at this team versus that team, entirely different.
Well, we certainly have, we've added on the right kind of size. I mean, some of the body comp numbers are, some of them are staggering. And then some of the improvements are just really eye-popping. So credit to Coach Feld, our nutritionist, certainly the sports science department, and then the effort by the players, because buying into that, at that age, right, what did you and I see, right? Circle K, hot dog, sports shake, go to practice. These guys, they put in time, they take in their greens, they put in the right type of carbs, lean, clean proteins. They're changing their bodies.
Coach, I want to talk about Inez Cooper. I look at how his body has changed. We were talking the other day. I didn't realize he was 4 1/4 in high school. He's down into the 350s now. I mean, he physically has just changed.
Yeah, no, he's a lightweight now compared to what he was
right.
before, But the thing with him now is, with the weight loss, it's more of a body comp change as much as anything else, because his lateral quickness, his hip and ankle flexibility, his mobility now, his ability to bend and come out of really awkward positions with power and recover, those are the biggest changes you see in his game due to diligence in the weight room.
Coach, let's go down some positions. Quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, it's his show, but he's out there competing with a couple other guys that are doing very well.
Yeah, it's his show, and he is by far, he's our alpha, he's our quarterback, and he's done a great job. Now, that being said, both Jakari and Emery have done an outstanding job. Every day you feel more and more comfortable with those guys and the future of the program. So they push each other. Yeah, you don't, when you look at the room and you watch them practice, you don't get the sense that there's a guy that's been there, but as a returning starter. But what you get is a feel for guys pushing each other and demanding the most of their teammates.
New offensive coordinator and Shannon Dawson, they had spring together, but they look like they've been together way longer than those 15 days.
Getting better. Every single day there is progress. And I think it's neat that we get to practice against a defense that creates the issues that Lance Skidry's defense does, because by the time we're done with camp, we would have seen just about everything. And there's some log reps as it relates to maybe some we might not see in week 1, but we're going to see in week 4. We've repped it. We've made calls against it. We've either tried to execute against it or had success executing against it. So all in all, just it's the challenges of this camp are going to really be beneficial for us later.
Wide receiver position, Colby Young, you almost don't recognize. If you look at the guy from a year ago, it's like a transformed player, but you added speed to that room, you added size to that room. What are you expecting out of that receiving corps?
Oh, yeah, and I think probably most importantly is that room is a Baden room right now. Credit Coach Dawson, credit Coach Beard. All those guys working together, Coach Cooney, Coach Varner, all these guys, the analysts and graduate assistants, they just do a really good job of explaining and teaching with detail, having a super high care factor, and demanding, right, that things are done the right way. So there's a lot of improvement there and a long ways to go. Today we're working a lot on blocking. I mean, you've got to be good at that too, right? Because there's nothing worse than a selfish football player, and we won't have that here. And I think those guys understand that, and they're working at it diligently, and they had a pretty good day out there on the perimeter.
You do a lot of good on good. I mean, you do a lot of the best players against the best players every day, and that starts to pay off.
It does. I mean, it's there's no other way to it. I mean, at least that's what I was always exposed to as a player and as a coach. It's been good to us. It has stood the test of time, that particular blueprint, so we're going to stick with it.
Coach Will Mallory, one of the best human beings ever to come through the doors here at the University of Miami, but also very productive at tight end. That room is kind of wide open. You had Arroyo was hurt last year. He's coming back. You did an infusion of talent. Update us on the progress there.
Well, Coach Whittle's doing a great job with those guys, and so is Coach Crutchfield. They push and they grind on those guys because those guys have to block like linemen and run routes like receivers and yet still play every special team. So the detail and the precision of their hat position, their routes, right? The depth of their routes, the angles, the footwork that goes with it. I mean, it's an endless task teaching those guys to be elite. And so, they have the benefit of guys coming around all the time. Greg Olson, right, stopping by and talking about technique and the importance of playing fast. So those guys are starting to play faster. They're being more physical. The veteran presence of Cam McCormick certainly helps out a ton. It's good to see him. Ryan Walk just joins us as an analyst.
Right.
I wish we could play him too. He's a really good player. But all in all, just really proud of that room's progress and their energy and their approach to practice.
Coach, the running back room, last year you looked at all these guys and you almost didn't have enough. So now you've got a room full of players, existing players, and then, of course, a couple freshmen and a transfer. But everybody seems like they're going to be able to find a role.
Well, without a doubt. I mean, especially in camp, we get a lot of reps now. I mean, all 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, they're all getting reps, and they're getting the same plays. So they're getting true scheme work. And there is no slowing down. They got to catch up, and we got to catch them up. So those guys have all had their really bright moments, and also they're learning the hard way moments. So it's good for them to go against some veteran linebackers like we have and getting them knocked around a bit and just getting into the physicality. And let me put it this way. They got to understand that here you got to run the ball hard, okay? Like if you look at Miami football forever, the guys that ran the ball, they ran it hard. They protected hard, right? They were physical. Those guys are getting a steady dose of that every day.
All right, Coach, can't end this conversation without talking about the offensive line. And explain to the people that follow the University of Miami what you mean when you say the best five. What does that mean? That's the first mission, is to find the best five.
Well, you would love for it in a perfect world to have 5 guys that are the most gifted to play together at the same time. But if the right guard is not communicating with the right tackle and the center doesn't quite, communicate with the left side, there's no synergy there, and therefore you're out of sync, and you will have issues. You will have free A-gap hitters. You'll have all kinds of problems. So 5 guys got to gel as one, and as you know, Coach Mirabal cross-trains everybody. There's a lot of versatility with the way that offensive linemen are trained here, and it does 2 things. It keeps us in a position where, God forbid there are injuries, we can move guys around, put some pieces in place, and still allow us to play winning football. And then when they go on to the next level, their snap value, their value in general, really just takes another step because they've done it before. And again, versatility reigns supreme when you have limited roster spots and you got a long season.
Coach, thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of camp. We appreciate
Always.
it.
Go Canes, brother.
Happy to have with us on our Hurricane Camp Report the All-American safety, Cam Kinchens. I see that brought a smile to your face. What's it feel like to look up in the rafters there and see your name?
Great feeling, I don't really look up there too much. I can't remember last time I looked up there other than the first day it was put up, It's work to be done, and it don't mean nothing now, it's a new season.
Yeah. Well, you had a great year last year, 6 interceptions on the season. But what do you think it was that made you an All-American?
Just willing to be coachable, and the coaches allow me to trust what I see and just play football. I've been playing the game since I was 6 years old, so it ain't changed too much.
you're an All-American that returns. That often doesn't happen. What do you hope maybe your teammates will learn from your experience going from where you started here at the University of Miami to working yourself into an All-American?
Just knowing you can go about stuff the right way and good things happen.
Yeah. What about training camp so far? What are some of the things that you have found most impressive about training camp?
The energy and the competitiveness. You know, I don't think it's one period that goes by when it's just one-sided. Like, it's just the defense is doing so good or the offense is doing so good. It's literally going back and forth.
Let's talk a little bit about competing. Why does that mean so much to you? Because you compete so hard on every play.
It means a lot. You know, if you ain't competing, then you're going to become lackadaisical, and when you become lackadaisical, it ain't no staying the same. It's either you're getting better or you're getting worse. So if you're being lackadaisical and you're not pushing yourself, or somebody else not pushing you, you're just getting worse day by day. And now when you thought you was good, you kind of not on that same level no more because you're not keeping up to that standard.
Pushing players is something that you demanded, something that you wanted to see in this program. You have a whole bunch of new players that have come in, not only during the spring but after the spring. But that's something that I think that you're embracing, right? Because you want to see guys get challenged.
Yes.
Right.
And it's very important because it's like the guys that's already here already know what the standard is. That's why they still here, and that's why we are with Coach Cristobal. And then the new guys that's coming in, it's so much that he can say. It's only so much that he can say. It's the fact that he got to see us as the players leading the younger guys to know when they hold up the standard that there's no down drop between us. You know, we're gonna rely on everybody when the season comes.
Yeah, it's always been said, the best teams are the ones that are player-led teams, right?
Yes, sir.
So we know that you are one of the leaders of this team. Why is leadership important to you?
Leadership is very important because I think last year we kind of lacked that.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of see, you know, why not try to fix it? Because you don't know what could be the change between. You need leadership at the end of every game.
Yeah.
So when the games get close, you got to need somebody you to rely on, know you somebody that's going to hold you up, hold you accountable, and make sure everything is right.
You have a new defensive coordinator, Coach Guidry. I think people are going to be really happy when they see this defense. Quarterbacks might not be so happy.
No, not at all.
Without revealing too much, what do you like about this year's defense?
Aggressive. You know, going to come after you every type of way.
Yeah, from a lot of different areas.
For real.
Like I said, I think you're going to hear this year from the offense, you might hear a lot of, look out!
Yep. And like, oh!
Yeah. How about you and James Williams pairing up at that deep safety area? That gives the University of Miami two very physical, athletic players back there as the last line of defense.
It's what you asked for, you know. Like you said, physical, you know, athletic, you know, we can kind of do everything. It ain't just one role that either of us have. You know, we can kind of play everywhere. So I think that brings a lot of versatility to the defense.
Last year was the Georgia Tech game. 3 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. Do you allow yourself to replay that in your mind at all?
No, that's what me and Coach Zagacki really been talking about.
Yeah.
It's really just kind of like moving on, I guess, from the whole season in general, and kind of not play superhero ball and kind of just go back to the basics on what you're doing and just go play by play and just do what's needed and do what's asked, you know.
Yeah. It's always important to move on. So as we move on, what are your goals and expectations for you this season?
I don't really have too many personal goals. It's really like, of course, I want to win a Jim Thorpe, like what DB does, I want to win a Jim Thorpe, you know, but all mine is really team goals, you know. We just trying to go out there and earn our wins.
Mm-hmm.
And we ain't trying to speak on last year, but we just not trying to have a year like last year, you know. I don't like to just, I don't know, because it's just, we going to just go out there and work
You
for
want to
it.
win.
Yeah, that's
you're a guy that hates losing. I know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's only 2 sides, and I hate losing, so
Right.
the only thing is to win.
Right.
So, but the main thing is like, we going to get whatever we deserve. So whatever we earn out here during this fall camp and throughout the season, we're going to get what we deserve. So if we deserve to win, that's what we're going to get.
Yeah, winning teams are usually made up of a bunch of guys that hate losing.
Yes.
You know, like-minded guys. And so I think you're getting in that direction. The last thing for you is this. Maybe nobody's you're very qualified to answer this question. It's an offensive question. You get to see the offense every day because you play the deep safety position. As I mentioned before, one of the last lines of defense. What do you see from the offense?
Every day it gets more trickier and trickier. You know, it got a lot of moving parts to it. Another thing is they love to take the top off. You know, you like a team that go deep. Because when you go deep, you know, you get a PI, you might get a catch, you know, just taking chances. And it just opens up the offense more to open up the run game. So.
All right, well, thank you for being on this show.
Thank you.
You did a great job, and you set the standard here at the University of Miami.
Thank you.
All right, that's Camp Kinchens. We'll continue with more right after this. All right, a great way to start off our camp reports. Head coach Mario Cristobal and the All-American Camp Kinchens. Those two guys make this program a lot better.
That they do, Joe. And let's hope that we say in about 3 months, 2-time All-American Cam Kinchens.
No question about that. All right, for Don Bailey Jr., I'm Joe Zagacki. Thanks for joining us on our Hurricane Camp Report.